In this video, we are sketching a fully labeled quadratic graph. First, we need to find a few key points on the quadratic graph. The first one to identify is the y-intercept. We find the y-intercept by making x equals to 0. Then we find the x-intercept by making y equals 0 and solving the quadratic equation. Subsequently, we find the line of symmetry, which is halfway between the two x-intercepts. Lastly, we can find the turning point in two ways. We can find the turning point by knowing the x value of the line of symmetry. The other way is by completing the square. By completing the square, we will get a form from which we could read off the turning point straight away. Let's start with an example. We will sketch this graph by factorizing first. First things first, we should look at the equation and say it's a positive x squared graph. Given that it is a positive x squared graph, we know that it is a U-shaped parabola. The second thing we are going to find is the y-intercept. As we discussed, we find the y-intercept by making x equals to 0 in our equation. If x equals to 0, that y is negative 8. So we know that the y-intercept is negative 8. We will find the x-intercept by making y equals to 0. We solve this equation by factorizing. By factorizing, we know x equals to 4 or x equals to minus 2. The line of symmetry, which is halfway between the two x-intercepts. 4 at minus 2 divided by 2 equals to 1. So we find our line of symmetry is x equals to 1. The last thing we need to find out is the turning point. We know that at the turning point, the x is equals to 1 because the turning point is on the line of symmetry. So we substitute x with 1 and we'll get the y value of the turning point. So now we know the turning point is 1, negative 9. By connecting x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and the turning point with the parabola, we will get the quadratic graph we want. Now let's sketch the same graph by completing square. First, we need to identify it is a positive x squared graph. So it is a U-shaped graph opening upward. Next, we find y-intercept by making x equals 0. So y-intercept minus 8. Now let's solve the equation by completing square. Y equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 9. Y equals to x minus 1 squared minus 9. In this form, we can find the turning point. As we know, x minus 1 squared is always equals to or larger than 0. So the minimum y value is negative 9. The minimum y value of negative 9 is obtained when x equals 1. So the turning point is 1, negative 9. As we know, the turning point is on the line of symmetry. So we know the line of symmetry is x equals to 1. Next step, let's see how to find the x-intercepts of the graph. We make y equal to 0. By completing square, we know that x minus 1 squared minus 9 equals 0. X minus 1 squared equals 9. So x minus 1 equals 3, or x minus 1 equals negative 3. X equals 4, or x equals negative 2. So the two x-intercepts are x equals 4 or x equals negative 2. By connecting x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and the turning point with the parabola, we will get the quadratic graph we want.